Good morning, everyone, and happy Friday. It's Jenna here. I want to talk about today about a research-based program called Read Naturally. So this is primarily on fluency. So this is really great for a student who already has that phonemic awareness and is able to manipulate sounds. Additionally, they're able to decode. They have that. However, their fluency is what's impacting them. They're not reading, especially when they read orally, it's not fluent. They're stumbling across words. It takes them a lot of time to decode them, but they do already have that letter to sound correspondence. If they don't have that letter to sound correspondence, you want to hold off on fluency instruction and really focus on just that decoding and letter to sound correspondence first. But once they get that, then they can work on this program called Read Naturally. It really is great. And I'm going to show you how to work it. So you just type in Read Naturally into Google. You can click right here onto their website. Right now, it is free for 60 days, so you can start it if you want to see how you like it, or you can just take a look and see if it's something that's worthwhile. So they do have awesome training, so you can see how to work it yourself as well, but I'm going to kind of talk about it a little bit. So when I did this for students, I don't know if it's changed a little bit. I used it a couple years ago, but it's pretty much the same. As you can see, they get a bunch of stories that they get to choose from based on their level. So there is a pre-assessment to show what level they should be on. Then once they're on there and you want it on their independent level, they get a whole library that they can choose from based on pictures, and they can choose that story. First, they do a cold score. The cold score is they're reading the story for the first time, they never saw it. They just need an adult for this part. They have to read, you hit the timer, and they get 1 minute to read as many words as they can. You are the one who's taking count of the errors that they're getting incorrect. So you can click on that word as they read it wrong at the end of the minute. The timer goes off, you click the words they read incorrectly, and then it gives you a score of how many words they read correctly within that minute. Then they set a goal. So let's say they only read 45 words correctly in a minute, but you want them to read 55. So they set the goal for 55. Then what it does is that the story reads it to you. So the student has to follow along, and it highlights it as they read it. It is so important the student actually watches the screen when it's reading it. Otherwise, it's kind of pointless. So it's also good to make sure the student is motivated. And as it reads it to them, and then they practice reading it as well after that. And then they get their hot score. So when they're ready, they get their hot score to reach their goal. And you can do the hot score as many times as you want. You can only do the cold score obviously once, because once they're reading it, it's not a cold score anymore. So it's really repeated reading, but it's based on interest stories. And I've noticed with some kids that they love it because they love setting the goal and reaching that goal, and then it makes a graph for them. And eventually over time, you're going to see the trend and them increasing in the cold score. That's what you want to see, is the trend of the cold score increasing. And then they reach their goal. You'll see how amazing it is when they reach their goal, and they're really excited to reach that goal. And you make a big deal about it when they do it, and then you show them the graph and how high they are, and they actually want to do better. And they're really high interest stories, which also helps. So it is really cool. Additionally, you can click through here. I saw one of the, here, we're going to do story. You can go to watch now, and it can load it for you. And you can literally see step by step exactly what it looks like to see if it's worthwhile for you. So I'm going to take this URL here and copy it in the email, so you can just click directly to that too, to see if it's something that you think is worthwhile for your students. Please let me know. This is just a brief overview. If it's something that you're maybe interested in, and I can help you set it up, or talk a little bit more about it. So just shoot me an email and we can discuss further. And thank you for listening. Have a great day.